The cabin was silent. The only sound was the hum of the engines, and the trembling voice of a young girl trying not to cry. Row 14, seat B. A small black girl, maybe 8 years old, clutching her teddy bear. Next to her sat her mother, trying to stay composed as the man in the next row leaned back again, sneering. "Some people don't belong up here," he muttered, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Should have taken a bus." A few passengers looked away. Others stared at their screens, pretending not to hear. That's when a voice from the back said, calm but cutting, "That's enough." Heads turned. The man froze for a second, then scoffed and turned back around. He had no idea who was watching him. 3 rows behind him sat Marcus Hale, off-duty Navy SEAL, broad-shouldered, quiet, unassuming in a gray hoodie. He'd seen conflict zones quieter than this plane. But cruelty? That sound was universal. Flight 227 from Denver to D.C. had boarded like any other. Marcus took his seat, hoping to close his eyes for a few hours. He was returning from a memorial for a fallen teammate, his mind heavy, his body tired. He'd noticed the woman and her daughter right away. Polite, soft-spoken, the kind of people who made space for others. The man across from them was the opposite. Loud, entitled, he'd complained about the crowded cabin, about people with too many bags. Marcus had seen that look before, the one that sized people up, found targets. At first he said nothing. He'd learned patience. But when the plane leveled off and the man started, whispering cruel words to the child, Marcus opened his eyes. The girl tried to ignore him, pulling her teddy bear close. The mother said softly, "Please, sir, she's just a child." He smirked. "Then teach her to respect adults." That's when the little girl whispered, barely audible, "Mom, I want to go home." The flight attendant passed, offering drinks. The man blocked her with his arm. "Maybe if certain people didn't act entitled, we'd all have better seats." The mother's lips trembled. She turned away, holding her daughter's hand. Marcus exhaled slowly, setting his book down. His instincts kicked in. Not the kind honed for combat, but the kind that rises when someone helpless is cornered. He stood, towering but calm, and walked forward. "If you're still watching, hit like and turn on notifications, because what happens next will leave the entire plane speechless." Marcus stopped beside the man's row. "Sir," he said evenly, "you're going to stop talking to them." The man turned, annoyed. "Who do you think you are? Her bodyguard?" "No," Marcus said, voice steady. "Just someone who's done watching you embarrass yourself." The man snorted. "Go sit down. You're not the flight marshal." Marcus leaned slightly closer, not threatening, just unshakably certain. "No," he said quietly, "but I've worked with a few." The entire cabin went still. Even the engines felt quieter. "Sir," the flight attendant said carefully, "please calm down." The man rolled his eyes. "You're all overreacting." "I was joking." Marcus's gaze didn't waver. "That child doesn't think you're funny. Neither does anyone else here. So you're going to stop, apologize, and spend the rest of this flight in silence." A ripple of murmurs filled the air. The man hesitated, his bluster cracking. "Or what?" he spat. Marcus reached into his wallet, pulled out a worn leather ID case, and opened it slowly. The gold emblem caught the cabin light. United States Navy, Special Warfare Command. The man's mouth fell open. Marcus's tone didn't rise, didn't need to. "You just spent the last hour harassing a mother and child," he said softly, "while I sat here deciding if you were just loud or dangerous. I've dealt with both. Don't make me decide again." The color drained from the man's face. The mother stared in disbelief. The little girl's eyes were wide, hopeful. Marcus gestured to the flight attendant. "Please document this. He won't cause more trouble." The man slumped back into his seat, silent for the first time since boarding. When the plane landed, airport security met them at the gate. Passengers backed Marcus up immediately. Video clips, testimonies, even quiet applause as he stepped off the plane. The mother found him by the gate window, her daughter clutching the teddy bear again. "Thank you," she whispered. "I didn't know what to do." Marcus smiled softly. "You did the right thing. You protected her. That's all that matters." The girl tugged his sleeve. "Are you really a hero?" He chuckled. "No, sweetheart. Just someone who doesn't like bullies. Not all wars are fought on battlefields. Some are fought in silence until someone decides to stand up.